Yeah, hello and welcome to another update video about Bitcoin. So yeah, I was hoping something happened, so I did wait a little bit with making this video, but yeah, not much happened. I mean, in the last video we talked about that we likely either get a reset of the E-Wave a little lower. That happened. Okay, so that's good to see. At least we made a higher low compared to the C-Wave. This is precisely what we talked about in the last video. It still has a bit of space, so it could still be that this is forming a clearer ABC structure in wave E. Remember, we're dealing here with an Elliott Wave triangle, potentially in the white wave count. It's an Elliott Wave triangle, and the wave count is A wave, B wave, C wave, D wave, and E. And then we would typically expect a breakout to the opposite side of the E wave. That would just be an extension of the current third wave here, okay? Before we enter the realm of the fourth wave and then go higher. This would be ideal. I would prefer that, but yeah, we'll see. I mean, within this scenario, then it could be that this E-wave is still unfolding. All the E-wave needs to avoid, it must avoid to break below the low of this C-wave, and that's at $33,400. Okay, so needs to avoid that. The E-wave is oftentimes an ABC structure, so it could still go a little lower. If we talk about ideal Fibonacci extensions for this E-wave, what we can do, we take the length of the wave C, go to the high of the wave D, and it reached basically the 38.2 extension level. Ideal would be the 61.8. That's at $33,790, but there's no must to get there. But if it makes another low in wave E, this would be the ideal spot, $33,790, okay? Now, the thing is, what happens if we break below the C wave? So first of all, we need to understand now all requirements for an Elliott Wave triangle are complete, can easily go higher. Okay, if we break below today's low, then it's likely going to be a lower E wave, no problem, as long as it stays above the low of wave C. Okay, if it breaks below that level, then we're likely already in wave 4. If it hasn't broken out until tomorrow, yeah, and it just moves sideways, or if it breaks down and goes into the wave 4 support area here, larger degree wave 4, in the yellow count, which is A, B, C, okay, of wave 4, it just shows you a different subdivision. Which would allow for basically the C wave down, yeah. What would we do then? Well, then I would assume the wave 4 is already unfolding, larger degree wave 4, yeah. Or if we just move sideways as well, because it just takes too long for this wave degree. So I'll probably make that change tomorrow, unless we really get a nice extension higher now. But overall, the focus is on higher, either from here or from here, okay? What is important to understand that I am going to remain bullish on Bitcoin as long as we stay above $29,450. What I would like to avoid, however, nevertheless, is a break below 30,510, because then already probabilities start to shift. That's the 50% retracement level, but that's nothing new. We've been talking about that. But Bitcoin holding really well. Yeah, ETH sold a little bit off today, nothing major though. But Bitcoin holds again tremendously well, absolutely resilient in these times, in which also the stock market has difficulties. Lots of people believed in correlations between the Nasdaq and Bitcoin, between the S&P and Bitcoin. Yeah, inverse correlation between the DXY and Bitcoin. You know, all of that has flipped. So I've never been a fan of correlations because they come and go. So, and also it doesn't really give you a tradable strategy. If you have one, great, but then you also need to track the correlations themselves. Is it positively correlated or negatively correlated? But yeah, we'll see. So it's going to be interesting. A lot of people ask me, you know, what happens if we get a bear market in the stock market, which could happen, which looks very likely. It will most likely happen. The question is, does it happen now or does it happen in 1 or 2 years? You know, wouldn't Bitcoin come down as well? Well, see, I mean, at the moment we're decoupled, okay, but the reality is if there's really a crash or a credit crunch or whatever, then typically most assets get correlated, like March 2020. That's when many of these assets started to correlate, and we've literally just only now decoupled again. So it's going to be interesting, but it might just mean that Bitcoin makes a higher low or whatever, you know, if something like that happens. we have to focus on each chart on its own. But for now, we stay high. We focus on higher as long as the relevant support levels are holding. I'm leaning towards that, but we always need to know the levels that, if broken, lead us to change our opinion. Okay, that's my update about Bitcoin. I hope you liked the update. If you did, please hit the like button, leave a comment, and subscribe. And if you really like the content, then please check out the channel membership. Thanks a lot for watching. Bye-bye.